Well, who would have thought it was only a few weeks ago, really, that we were all in Tasmania enjoying the every second year Tasmanian road trip. And I've got Byron Hill with me at the moment. Byron, you experienced Tassie as an ABT non-boater for the first time. I think I've done it about 10 or 11 times now. It doesn't matter if it's your first or your 10th time. That place is dead set awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I was on the water there doing the comps for 6 days, including the pre-fish days, and there was only one day that I didn't catch a kilo fish. So the place is a giant Jurassic Park that, and I'm sure guys got kilo fish on every single day, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. It was heaps of fun down there at Tassie, yeah.
It's awesome, mate. And look, you're becoming well known in the fishing side of things for making some very interesting content. Sometimes it's kayak based, and we can't really, we're not holding that against you. But you've got a video coming out, and we've got some highlights running in the background now. You've got a bit of a highlights video coming out, just celebrating that last gasp of freedom that we had down in Tassie, didn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I'd probably bit of a shout out to the boaters that I had down there as the non-boater. They put me in some great positions, and some of them were Tassie local. One of them in particular was a Tassie local who knew I was a bit of a fish out of the water down there, and he was great, and they were all great, to be honest. Fishing with Scotty Towner, there was a lot that I learnt during that day there. But yeah, there was fish after fish and boat after boat of just fun. Two guys, to take words out of Grayson Fong's repertoire. It's two dudes on a boat trying to fish for 10 fish, and Tassie was just amazing to make that happen. It's good. It was very good.
That's awesome, mate. And look, we can see in the background here with those highlights playing that it was a good time had by all. If anyone's sitting on the fence, and this is sitting on the fence as in you're a kayak angler thinking, shall I go and have a go as a non-boater? Or I'm just a non-tournament angler and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't, there's insert reason here why I can't go. Give us some unscripted reasons why you should just jump in and give it a crack.
Well, I was a little bit anxious on going to the non-boater. Actually, maybe even to the kayak series when I first started that about 5 odd years ago as well. And I'd say it's a great opportunity to learn from some of the best. For me, it's all about that learning curve. I remember it when I first started kayaks. I think I'd been in a kayak twice, and then by the end of the first season, I was having a lot of fun and catching some consistent fish. I'd say that's probably happening for me at the same time here with the boating scene. There's a drastic learning curve going on, whether it's boats or engine bits, and how to hit areas as a non-boater quickly and efficiently whilst the boaters up the front still catching fish. You need to get some for yourself and be respectful at the same time. Yeah. But I think if you come at it with an open mind, there's some great opportunities to be had, some great learning experience, and ultimately, good fish. But I really like that learning aspect to it. So I'd say that's the number one thing. If you're passionate about fishing, you want to learn how to catch more fish, this is a great avenue to do that. Yeah.
Well, let's just roll back a little bit more. Before that Tasmanian tour, you came along to one of the Gippsland rounds.
Yeah.
You bought yourself on the Malakuta bushfire appeal on a boat with Hodgie.
Yeah,
and he is the master of that North Arm area down in Gippsland. And just to show that anyone can do it, you pulled a 1.55 kilo bream from behind Hodgie. Tell us that story, because we've got that picture up on the screen now, and that is an epic event, mate. And was that one of your first fish you'd landed in ABT?
That was the first fish I landed in ABT, yeah. It's a great way to start. It was funny. Hodgie wanted to throw a cranker crab at a jetty, and I know you had a lot of success doing that. So he pulled up to a jetty. I looked the opposite direction and saw this bank that I was really impressed with. Lots of gnarly structure and rock, and there were some trees coming off it as well. But the tide was up, and threw a hard body into a snag. Half a wind, and I saw a bow wave come out and just clunk. It's one of those takes that you have everything to do with, and they will stick with me. It's one of the fish that will always stick with me. I'll be honest, that very long 30 seconds that I had nothing on it for the first 30 seconds. It was just
going everywhere.
It was peeling line off, and I was on 4 pounds straight through, and it was. There was a lot of luck involved in getting that. The hooks pulled as we got into the net, but I had a grin from ear to ear for the remainder of that day, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, mate. And they're the memories you take away from ABT being a non-boater. Not all days are diamonds. Some days are rocks, but the ones that are great are just stick in your memory forever. Look, before we end this up tonight, you're going to make your Tasmanian video. You're going to make it live straight after this show. Give us a shout out to where we can find it. We'll put a link in the chat and in the video description here anyway. But give us a link to where we can find that.
Yeah, so it'll be under the YouTube channel, just under my name, Byron Tea Hill, no spaces. But yeah, you're right. It'll go live after this. I'll also have a link on my Facebook profile, and that'll be public, so you don't have to be a friend with me to access that. But either way, both those clicks onto there. Look, I hope that it's 12 minutes of fun, a lot of entertainment. One of the biggest fish comes in the very last scene, and I truly do. I hope you guys do find it a bit of entertaining. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got something lined up to do after the show tonight. Thanks very much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks, Steve.